Good morning and welcome to the Killik & Co market update. We've got several record highs to look at this week, so let's start with the S&P 500 index, which hit a new intraday record high. Here's the chart for the index over the last decade. As you can see, it's a lot higher now than it was before the coronavirus really took hold. It's been a really strong decade for the S&P 500 index, and for that reason it has hit a number of new record highs. But what's interesting this time around is that we're currently in the middle of earnings season. Companies are busy reporting their results for the first quarter of this year. A lot of these results are coming in ahead of expectations, and that's causing share prices to move higher and therefore the index to move higher as well. So on this chart here, we've got the top 5 constituents of the S&P 500 index, and as you can see, they're all big tech companies. We've got Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Alphabet, and Facebook. All 5 of these companies have reported their results this week, and all 5 of them have put in results that have come in ahead of expectations. The most noteworthy two would be Alphabet and Facebook. Both of those companies experienced quite significant share price rises when their results came out, and the reason is that both of these companies have experienced very strong growth in online advertising. The Office for National Statistics published some interesting data this week, showing that the level of UK household wealth has recently hit a new record high. And this is due to a rise in house prices, a rise in the level of cash savings, and also a rise in the level of investments because the stock market has moved so much higher. So here's the data going back to the year 1995. As you can see, there was a fall in the year 2007 when asset prices fell due to the financial crisis, but there has been quite a notable spike in the year 2020. Now clearly this data doesn't show the inequality in wealth distribution across the UK, but nevertheless it is quite reassuring to see the overall level of wealth is moving higher. We do know that consumer spending is a huge part of overall economic growth, and if the level of wealth is high, then that surely means that the level of potential spending must also be high. And finally this week, the copper price has hit a new 10-year high. We've talked about rising copper prices fairly recently, but it's worth revisiting this because the trend has been continuing very strongly. Here's the chart for copper over the last 10 years, and as you can see, the price of the metal has recently returned to over $10,000 per tonne, and in fact it's more than twice as high as what it was back in March 2020. The demand for copper is being driven by this ongoing trend for electrification. And clearly this rise in the copper price is great news for copper mining companies. So here we've got the share price chart for a copper miner called Antofagasta. And as you can see, the shape of this chart is almost identical to the chart for the copper price itself. As we see an increase in the demand for electric vehicles, we do expect to see more demand for copper itself, and therefore the outlook for the metal does seem to be very positive at the moment. Moving on to have a look at next week, we're coming to the tail end of earnings season now, but we have still got lots of results out next week. We're looking ahead to results from American Waterworks, PayPal and Volkswagen. That's it from us. Enjoy the bank holiday and we'll see you next Friday.